about a nice round of applause for yourselves? You guys are all in costume, you're bringing it. You guys are looking great. You're drinking, yes. I am wearing what is left of a really great David Bowie costume I did a couple of years ago. But I figured I would try to get in the spirit, so I wore what was left. Now I kind of look more like Bowie if he had like stayed in school, maybe he had like become a lawyer or something. You know, like Ziggy Stardust and the Accountants from Mars, not quite as good of a record. When I was assembling that lovely costume, by the way, I went to the Goodwill. So I was trying to glam it out, right? So my friends told me, go to Goodwill, they can get these like crazy, like really flowery print like blouses in the women's section, which had never occurred to me to do. So I went to the women's section of Goodwill. Within 5 minutes, the first thing I tried on fit perfectly. It was cheap, it was perfect for the costume. Like, this is great, right? Finishing the costume up, I'm like, I gotta get some good, like some glam boots, like some nice, like high heel boots. I go back to Goodwill, nothing in the men's section, right? I go to the women's section, first pair of boots I try on, fit perfectly, perfect for the costume, they're cheap. I'm like, it's way too easy for me to find women's clothing that fits me so well. I thought it was gonna take a lot longer to do. It took me longer to find this coat than it took me to find an entire outfit of women's clothes at the Goodwill. This is a hidden message from the city. It is a sign. It's a sign from the city. At least I'll save money. That's something. The rest of this outfit is actually my own clothing. I'm trying to dress up a little bit more. I'm trying to like kind of raise the style a little bit. It doesn't always work the way I want it to work though. Sometimes, like I was doing a show in Oakland not long ago. And before the show, I was having dinner at the old Nation's Burger right next door. Did somebody? Is that you, sir? Yeah, but I had a hunch. Look at this guy. The guy in the AC/DC shirt and the mullet likes Nation's Burger. There's a shock. That's something we saw coming. But so I'm sitting there in the Nation's Burger, dressed like this, except for the wig, obviously. And I'm making my notes for the show in the back, and I realize there's nobody else. There's no other customers in this Nation's Burger. I look around like, man, it really looks like I'm the manager of this Nation's Burger. Like that is not the look I'm trying to give off. I've also been trying, I don't know if you can tell from where you are sitting, but I've been trying to work out a little bit. Yeah. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you. All right. See, I like that. It's awesome, and I can feel the changes happening already in my body. Like this arm, right? This arm is getting to the point where it almost looks like a man's arm. I'm so excited. This is a whole new thing. Like if you saw this arm like off by itself somewhere, like if there was like an accident and like it had been knocked away, or if this arm was all they found in the freezer of a serial killer, maybe they would have been thinking, was the victim male or female? You know, we're not sure. I gotta tell you. Might be a man, could also be like Linda Hamilton, maybe Terminator 2 era. That's kind of where my arm is at right about now. I'm really just trying to get to a place where I can take my shirt off in public without somebody from the Red Cross putting a blanket around my shoulders. That's really where I'd like to go. Which is not to say that I'm healthy. I wouldn't say that I'm healthy. The most exercise that I've done in the last month is I drunk walked home, which I think should be an exercise. I live in North Beach, and I drunk walked home from 26th and Valencia. Yes, thank you, exactly. I looked it up the next day, guys. 4.5 miles that I drunk walked with my jacket over one shoulder, like some kind of drunken Stations of the Cross pilgrimage all across the city. And this is honest to God true. Like I had my phone in my pocket. I was listening to 80s music on the whole way home. Yeah, and at one point, I swear to you, I'm not kidding. At one point, I had some Talking Heads came on, and I was looking around. I was like, this is not my beautiful house. Definitely not. I am lost right now. This is not my beautiful wife. This is a crackhead. This is definitely not. I love it, man. I came home from the drunk walk. I love getting home late at night. I love watching late night TV because they have all these like ridiculous commercials. Like I saw this commercial for like a phone sex party line. Now, first of all, guys, come on, it's 2013. Like nobody was calling those things then. Who is possibly calling that now? Well, you may as well have an ad for like 10-10-3-2-1 or something. Like that's about how relevant it is. And their whole gimmick in this ad was that all of the women on this party line are all 18 years old. That was their thing. Yeah, exactly. All these people in the ad like, we're live, we're 18, waiting for your call us now, blah, blah, blah. Like, fine. I get it, right? I'm not naive. I understand what they're going for. But of all the things that a grown man would want to do with an 18-year-old girl, surely talking to her on the phone would have to be like the last thing on that list. Who wants to do that? Nobody wants to do that. You know who wants to talk to 18-year-old girls on the phone? 16-year-old boys in 1985 when there was no Facebook. Like, that's your only demographic. It's not a good execution of the fantasy. Who is from SF? Anybody from San Francisco? Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. You also clap for the way that things. You might just clap for anything, but I'm going to take you at your word. I'm also not from here. I grew up in Philly, Pennsylvania. Woo! Wow, really? That's a lot of woos. Why are you booing? Are you from there? You beat up people from there or something? Why are you cheering? Because you're not there anymore? That's also a common reason. Cheering is rare. Booing is more common. Battery throwing happens on occasion. It's just, I love it in California. It's awesome out here. It's just, Philly's different, man. It's like a different energy in Philly. Like, people are more just angry and like abrasive. All right, here's a true story. Last time I was in Philadelphia, all right, I was out with some friends, and I watched a guy try to pick up a lady using the following Philadelphia-approved pickup line. He looked her right in the eye and he was like, "Hey, baby, do you want a power fuck?" That was it. That was the whole approach. Like, he wasn't like, "Oh, I'm just kidding around, let me get you a drink." Like, that was his A game. As if that was a perfectly reasonable thing to say to someone you've never met before in your entire life. I did like a double take. I'm like, what? Did that guy just say what I think he said? Like, first of all, I don't even know what that is. I'm going to tell you right now. But I am reasonably certain that I have never tried it. I'm pretty sure. If I do look it up someday, I'd be like, oh yeah, no, I've never done that. I've never done that. I mean, certainly I'm on board with the idea of fucking with additional power. I'm just not sure, like, is there a running start that's involved? Is that what you like? Do you put on, like carry wrist weights while I jerk off? Like, what do I have to do to tell them? This is also a true story. I told that story at a club a couple of months ago, and the very next day, I got an email from someone who'd been at the show, and he was like, "Oh man, we thought you were really funny, we enjoyed your set. My girlfriend and I really liked the part when you talked about the power fucking, because we actually teach a course in how to have rough sex. You should come check it out, maybe get some pointers. A course in how to have rough sex, a 3-hour seminar with a syllabus and like a link that he sent me to take this class." Like, it's amazing. That moment to me is San Francisco in a nutshell, right? Because living in SF as an outsider, to me, means you simultaneously have these two thoughts at all times, right? One, oh man, that's pretty cool, man, do your thing, that's awesome. Two, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, that's not right. There's something wrong with what you're doing. That's not right. Like, I live in North Beach, like I said, right? Every Halloween, the bouncers from the strip clubs put on fuzzy bikinis, right? And hand out candy to kids as they walk by and trick or treat from them. And part of me's like, yeah, that's pretty cool, man, they're doing a thing. And part of me's like, what the hell is wrong with you? Who lets their kids trick or treat in a strip club? Are you out of your mind? These guys giving kids like baby Snickers, like, yeah, tell your dad hello, tell him we'll see him this weekend, tell him candy's working. I totally went to the class, by the way, just in case you're curious. Totally went. Fascinating class, very, very interesting. It was pretty much, the attendance of that class was like 20 amorous couples and me by myself in the back. Not a good time to fly solo to that event. Got a lot of weird looks. People look around like, why is the manager of Nationsburger at this power fucking course? You guys have been so much fun. That is my part of the show.